What brings you to consciousness? Is it something that piques your interest? Is it a reality check? Whatever it may be, today we're going to be talking about what brings us to consciousness and how important it is to be conscious in very important moments in our life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode of the Bump Podcast. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Bump Podcast. I'm your host Shamir, here with my co-host and beloved brother Nabil.
Hey everybody, how's it going this week?
Hopefully everybody's doing well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the ringle dingle dingle. And we just want to appreciate everybody's support thus far. As always, never fails.
Never.
Anyways, today we're going to be talking about how important consciousness is. We're going to bring up a few facts on subconscious, unconscious, and conscious.
Anything with conscious.
For sure. Anything with conscious in it. Does anybody know or misspell the word conscious?
Oh, man.
I mean, that's an honest question because I misspell it all the time. And it's just like, I know how to spell it, but there's just days where I'm just like, C-O-N-Ch-Ness. You remind me of Ahmed, the dead terrorist from Jeff Dunham, where he's like, how do you spell Ahmed? He's like, A-C Phlegm. That guy's an animal.
If y'all haven't watched it, you need to watch it.
Yeah, Jeff Dunham is definitely a good comedian.
I tried going to one of his live shows and it was so expensive. I was just like, oh man.
It's just he does most of his stuff in like theater rooms and stuff like that. So it's kind of like very limited, but like probably top dollar. Who knows? Yeah. Anyways, so Nabil, do you have the significance or anything like that? So
the meaning of conscience?
Yes.
Let us see here. Yes, it is aware of responding to one's surroundings or also being awake.
I like that.
Do you?
Yes.
That's good. I'm glad you like that. So yeah.
You got another one. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, just to kind of extend on that, essentially, it's aware of your own existence. You're aware of sensations, thoughts, surroundings, things like that. Yes. Yeah,
so I have a saying that I just found.
Okay.
It says, consciousness is the gentle whisper of the soul guiding us towards the symphony of inner peace. That's another thing I want to talk about today in regards to consciousness is it's sometimes that gut feeling that wakes up you being in subconscious in order to lead you to be like, hey, watch out. That's something in the intro that I just said too. It's like, is it a reality check that might be wandering in your life that makes you be like, holy hell, like what's happening here, you know?
Yeah. I mean, okay, look, like if we're breaking it down for what it is verbatim, right? It says you need to be awake to be conscious. That's part of it, yeah? Because obviously when you're sleeping and whatnot, you're subconscious.
Right.
And you're not as aware of many things, you know what I mean? I don't know if and please feel free to comment down below and let me know. Like, let me know. I could say us, but I mean me specifically because I genuinely want to know. I have family members because I don't want to put them on blast. So I have family members, and I don't mean you.
No, that's fine.
Not that I know of. I don't know. But I have family members that when they are asleep, they are knocked out. They don't know if the atomic bomb went off. Okay? Whereas me, 9 times out of 10, I'm knocked out. I won't notice everything either, obviously. But I you know, if somebody were to wake up, if somebody were to walk by or whatever, I can hear it.
For sure.
I'm trying to give examples real quick here. Like I'm just more aware of my surroundings.
For sure.
And I know that this also applies with people who, let's say people in the military. Even if they've gotten past their traumas and they've worked through it and stuff like that, their sleep, from my understanding based off friends who have been in the military and have seen actual combat, have said how aware they are. Like their senses are on fly. So like if you do this, they might wake up.
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
and they're in, you know,
I've seen
attack
videos. Yeah, I've seen videos like even in like their bases or their camps or whatever. They'll literally like have like they'll be sleeping like dead ass sleeping like they fell asleep or something. Not on their bed or anything, but maybe like on a chair or something. And like somebody will like wake them up out of nowhere like, "Hey, Private, get up!" or something like that, and they're always on like check on that. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And I understand because especially if you're like in a foreign country where there's war going on, you definitely want.
You ain't got time to just be knocked out like that.
Like you don't really get that kind of sleep. I'm assuming like there's always something going on.
Typically, it's never again that they're, you know.
Yeah, that's so sad, man.
Yeah.
You know,
but we do appreciate your service.
Yeah, thank you so much to all you guys that have fallen. And the reason I'm gonna say this, and I'm sorry if it hurts anyone, is that you have fell in the trap of the United States, because it's good to serve the country, and I know your intentions. It's wonderful, but personally, in my eyes, I would not serve a country that has a lot of flaws to it, and I think every country has flaws. So honestly, I would not serve any country. I have a very independent and broad thought process in regards to anything that's political or has to do with the army and whatnot. But you know, for those that have served, thank you again. I have an anecdote. The other day, I was at a light. We had just left Barnes and Nobles, my lady and I, and we're at the light, right? And I have the common courtesy, bro. Like, if I have a few bottles of water in the car and there's somebody at the light, like a panhandler or something like that, I'll give them a bottle of water. You know what I'm saying? If I have it. Or if I see them and they're walking by and they're like staring at me, like, I'll literally like acknowledge them, like, "Hi, how you doing?" Or, "Hey, what's going on?" They're gonna be like, "You ain't got a spare change or whatever."
Yeah, I was gonna say I've done that, and they just kind of come up and they're like, you know, asking, "Do I have money?" I'm like, "Man, I wish I had."
Right, for sure. I mean, everybody. I saw a video. Jeez, I'm jumping into a rabbit hole right now, but I saw a video recently of a guy that was acting as a panhandler. You know, this guy had a tap on his phone. He's like, "Hey, I accept a Cash App and like a Zelle." No. Bro, you know how many people fell for that? They're like, "Oh, I only have a card." "Oh, yeah, I accept tap. I have a little tap thing on his phone, bro." Wild. But anyways, back to the anecdote with the military guy. He was in this. He was at the light, and the light's red. This was the like longest red light I've ever been. I guess God or something had to tell me something there. I don't know what, but I'm still figuring it out. And the guy was like, "Hey, do you got spare change?" And I'm just like, "Hey, how you doing?" Just looked away. He literally showed me a card that says the VA, right? Like, he was a veteran.
Oh, wow.
Right?
So he really proved it.
Yeah, no, yeah. He did. But I mean, I didn't have the spare change that he wanted, because I'm like, well, what I have, you can't break it. And then it's just like, I'm not going to give you a large bill. Like, I'm sorry, you know? And at the end of the day, he started cursing at me, bro. Like, he just started. Yeah, if you ask my lady, bro, we'll talk about it behind the scenes. But this guy started yelling at me, cursing me out, flicking me off, giving me the bird. He's like, "Oh, beep, 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 beep. Like, you can't give me $1 spare change. I was a veteran. I served this country." I'm just like, wow. It is incredible that this guy brought me to his conscience to like, "Hey, can you give me a spare $1 or whatever?" I can't, but I at least acknowledge you of saying hello, because maybe nobody said hi to you today or looked at you for that matter. And yet you treat me like the biggest piece of crap on the planet because I didn't give you a spare change that I don't, because I don't even have nickels and dimes.
Yeah, neither do I.
I have in one of my closets in the house a little jug. It's a gallon of just my quarters, dimes, whatever spare change that I got, because I use that to go on vacation whenever I go. If I have a whole gallon full of quarters, bro, there's a couple $100 there that we could literally buy some flights and take off somewhere. So that's the little vacation fund right there, you know, other than the vacation fund that we usually do if we go on vacation or whatever, right?
Right.
So I'm not going to give you my spare change that is for my vacation. I am so sorry. What I'm trying to say in general, I'm just trying to create.
There's going to be some people that are going to eat you up for that watch.
And that's fine. But it's just like, bro, like, there's more important things than spare change, because why? This is what he doesn't know that I know that a lot of veterans do. The military will literally take your benefits off if you become an addict.
Yeah.
or if you become an alcoholic and all these things happen and you fall in a rabbit hole on your own of misery and dope, that's on you. That's your personal decision.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, bro, the things that guy probably saw at war, if he even went there, because there's some military people that become addicts just because they were following everybody else's in the barracks ways, that didn't even go see Iraq, Russia, or wherever they were. Right, they didn't see no war or anything. They just decided, oh, let's go hang out with the buddies all day long. And then, you get what I'm saying? And that what I'm trying to get to is that these people aren't conscious of their own actions to be like, whoa, you know, maybe I should do this, make the right decision instead of making the wrong decision. And look, now I lose my benefits, all I worked for, the amount of years I probably put in, all these things. You know, again, I am not taking away for those people that have been in the military for real, that have actually served this nation and have suffered, that maybe their coping mechanism is dope or alcohol or whatever. I'm not saying that they're wrong, but that's just still at the end of the day a personal decision you made. You get what I'm saying? Because if you need help and the VA and all these people ain't helping you, well, damn, you know, I mean, I understand this country does some crazy stuff as well, and sometimes just pushes the military to the side, but at the end of the day, so what I'm trying to say is this guy was literally just cursing at me until the light turned green and I took off, right? And I'm just like, you get what I'm saying? Sometimes I literally, it's like no good deed goes unpunished. I literally go out my way to even whatever it says hello, or bro, because I could be doing 1,000 things at a red light. I could be on the phone replying to somebody that I need to reply to, a business move or whatever it may be, answering to a family member instead of acknowledging you, but yet I had the kindness in my heart to do that, and you're still mad at me because I didn't give you spare change. Wild.
Yeah.
So, bro, we took off, and my lady was just like, that guy's sorry, but that's exactly probably why he's there, because he put himself there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they're mad at the world, because that's another thing a lot of people have. They will blame the whole world for every bad decision they've made.
Well, that's not being held accountable.
Right. Instead of holding themselves accountable.
Correct.
And be like, you know what? I might be conscious. Didn't you do the research on the consciousness, the percentages?
Yeah.
This is something we should bring up so we can continue here. But you get what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, there's multiple studies. Again, this is all online. You guys can read it for yourselves. This one particular study says that only 5% of human brain activity is conscious. Only 5%. That's absolutely nothing. The remaining 95% takes place subconsciously, and not only do we have no real control over it, but we are also not even aware that it is taking place. I mean, it's just incredible how we have untapped potential of our brain.
For sure. Well, so much. And again, like we were saying earlier about Bradley Cooper and Limitless.
Y'all need to watch that movie.
If you have not,
like if you have not watched that movie, I watched that movie in theater just because I think I went with like a friend or two at the time. This was in 2011, and I went and watched the movie because I was like, oh, it just the trailers look cool, so let me just go and watch it. You know, this was the time where I would literally go to the movie theater all the freaking time now.
Right.
So watched the movie and I was like, oh man, this is so cool. The fact that this man comes across a drug. He's a deadbeat. He's gonna amount to nothing.
Yeah, technically.
His woman leaves him and everything, and you know he comes across this drug, I think accidentally or something like that, and drinks it, and then it unlocks his full brain potential.
Yeah.
So he goes from a deadbeat to this super
making $2 million. I think it was $1 or $2 million in the stock market in like a day or a week.
But what was fascinating was obviously the pill would have its moment where it would wear off, so then he would need more.
Yeah, and then he runs out. So then the guy that was
let's not spoil the movie.
Yeah,
y'all need to watch it.
Very good movie.
Robert De Niro's in it too.
Another one that's very similar to this movie in the concept is with Scarlett Johansson, Lucy.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But that's also a really good one. So those two movies are definitely very good if you're trying to understand a little bit more about the human consciousness and
it's
how
so
crazy it could be if you actually opened up that amount of brain capacity. Anyways,
I wonder if we could like what you would need to do. I feel like part of it, I could go down a rabbit hole, I think, with all of this, but I think part of it has to do with something that we as society do not do as much. based off being lazy, based off of finding other interests and other outlets. I was going to say is reading.
Right.
Reading opens up so much more. One, because you're obtaining information, and it depends what you're reading too. I feel like, you know, there was a point in my life where I felt like I was very intelligent in geeky stuff and not real life stuff. And I'm like, that's not going to get me anywhere.
For sure.
So I made a personal decision to make sure that I would start reading things that would stipulate my mind, things that I can actually drive a conversation around people. And that's where I started really diving into a lot of production stuff, acting stuff, you know, life skills. You know, I've done a lot of, I've read different books and studies on, oh Lord, I'm just blanking on it now. A little bit of psychology and things like that. Why? Because originally when I first started taking acting classes in the recent years, I thought it would be an interesting thing to maybe help me understand the human brain,
For sure.
what makes people who they are. And some acting teacher says that's good, but it's not necessarily what you need to do. You just need to actually understand what the character's motive is, and then, you know, break it all down from there. It's a whole process.
For sure.
Point is that when people talk about certain things in that field, I know what they're talking about. The average person doesn't. I know I can't necessarily say their name or anything, so I'm just going to say that I know several people who are therapists that deal with people our age, people in their early 20s, teenagers, whatever, where they don't know a lick of anything.
Right.
So to me, that seems like they're constantly in a subconscious phase, especially people, and I don't mean to call you out just to call you out and disrespect you or whatever, but people who are constantly like playing video games nonstop, they're killing brain cells there based off of the fact that their eyes are constantly focusing on a moving screen the entire time for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. On top of that, that develops you to become much more hungry.
Right.
And you're not even like moving your body.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're not burning calories or anything.
Not
like
at
that.
all.
Yeah.
You're burning brain cells. Excuse me. So what do a lot of gamers end up doing? They're constantly on coffee. They're constantly
All types of dope
on
and whatever.
they're constantly on a lot of snacks and things like that.
Yeah.
Mind you, I used to play games when I was a teenager all the time, and it came to the point where sometimes I would go to sleep late or wake up super early, and playing video games all the way through the morning. And at some point, I was just like, I can't do this. I'm starting to become really depressed. I'm kind of feeling like I'll never be I'll always be a nobody. I won't attract attractive women and all that other stuff. I just can't live like this. So I gave it up. And nowadays, excuse me, in my 30s, I barely get to play video games. Barely. I actually turned on my PS5 today after 2 weeks, and then I say 2 weeks, right? Like, it doesn't sound like it was that long ago. But before 2 weeks ago when I turned on the PS5, it had been maybe 4 or 5 months since I even turned on my PS5. I got a PS5 thanks to him and my wife last year. But again, it's just not a priority thing. Why? Because I want to try and make sure that I am conscious enough to be able to make as much use of my time that I have in a single day as possible to be able to get things done, to move forward, to progress, and not just, be a bum essentially. I feel like also conscience has to do with the awareness of whatever it is that you need to be aware of.
See, I'll bring in there that throughout the years that I've been able to read about, the brain and whatnot, and I learned about this. I trained my brain to make myself conscious in the moments. Okay, because that 5% out of the day, or maybe even 10, who knows? This is just whatever science says. But again, we don't fully know. So whatever percent that we are available to become conscious, I want to make it worthwhile in the day. You get what I'm saying? So whatever is important that needs my consciousness and my awareness, that's what I'm going to focus on. So I've been able to train my brain that way, where it's like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. Another thing too, like writing down what I need to do in the day, the important things. Those things are very important in order to just get them out the way. So now you can focus on other things and build on other things. again, it's just, you know, I think consciousness is also the amount of organization and depending on the mental load that you have. I mean, if you have so much in your brain, you won't be able to be focused on those things that you really need to be focused on. So
then at what point in your life do you feel like you got to that point of like, you know what, I need to use my time while I'm awake to be able to do this and that and organize a schedule to do this and you know, whatever else?
I feel like I mean, like scheduling has definitely been a this year thing. Maybe even a little bit of last year, but honestly, like writing down and like calendar, like if you want to be on the schedule, you know, you need to schedule a day or a time with me, because that's just how I work now. That's definitely been.
But why? Sure. Some people may not understand that. I mean, so why?
Honestly, it's just, first off, it takes that like I said, that mental heaviness that, man, I got so much to do, but sometimes I forget. No, you don't forget what is written down.
You have no excuse.
That's my grandfather, rest in peace. So he used to say that what you write down, you never forget. So there's no excuse for you not getting the things that you want to get done on a daily basis. Because if you had it written down, if you have it on a calendar with notifications, the other day I had a homie that asked me, he's like, hey, what program do you use to you know, organize your day? And I'm like, honestly, I just use the calendar
pencil and
on
paper.
the iPhone.
Oh, that's it.
And with notifications, like I have one that is a day before notification and then like an hour before notification of whatever needs to pop up.
Yeah. I do the same thing.
So you know, that's just what I do.
Yeah.
And those moments, it brings the consciousness. Okay, I got to go do this. Now I got to get ready for this. Let's prepare this, and whatever.
Yeah.
And I move forward.
Yeah.
Accordingly.
And I have to do the same thing. I've been doing this for several years now. Same thing. I'll write it on the phone's calendar. I have a physical calendar I literally buy every single year.
Right.
I'm a geek at heart, so I always try to get a Star Wars or Marvel.
Yeah, some nice.
Most of the past couple of years have all been Star Wars. I had a Marvel one maybe 2 years ago, something like that. And also, it's good to have those physical ones so you can always look back. I know you could do it on the app too, whatever. Sure. But it's a thing where, like, for example, my calendar that I have in my room, it's like if I'm lying sideways and I open my eyes, it's right there.
Right.
So that way I know for a fact, oh, I got this to do today, tomorrow, next week, whatever it is. Sure. Rather than just relying on my phone, because I'll still forget sometimes. So then when I get the notification the day of, it's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I totally forgot about this.
For sure.
Today, or last night going into today, I remembered that there was a couple of things I wanted to do in a particular order. So I went ahead and I just wrote that down on a sticky note. And sometimes I'll put that on top of my wallet. So that way when I go and grab my things to leave, there's my to-do list. I mean, I feel like we could do a whole episode about why we do that stuff and the importance of it. But it just makes you more conscious and aware of things that need to get done. And by the end of the day, man, you're going to feel like a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Because you were able to get done as many many things as you were able to do. Sometimes you can get it all done. Sometimes you can't. And that's okay. Yeah. The important thing is that you have a sense of organization to be able to get your things done so that you can move forward and see progress, and you're not staying in the same place that you've been, let's say, the past year, the past couple of months, whatever. And the fact that there's only 5% of people of consciousness that people unlock because of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
That's wild to me.
I think it's even more wild too. Like, because I say this a lot with anybody on my daily basis that's around me, is like, how many people just live a subconscious life because they're just going with the flow. They just go with whatever the day brings. That's just how they go with it. They don't have no aspirations, no goals to move forward. And I encourage every single one of you that are watching us to, be conscious of your subconscious. You get what I'm saying? And also the unconscious, which is sleep. You know, when you're asleep or whatnot, you have to understand that there's, if 7-8 hours a day is all you need of sleep, that's all you need of sleep. If you slept it and you still feel tired, get your body accustomed to sleeping that amount of time. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I think it was Benjamin Franklin used to sleep intervals of 4 hours. So he'd do 4 hours in the day, 4 hours in the night. There's his 8 hours.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, you're technically up all day. Essentially, like, you were up in the morning. Like, there's times like when I don't sleep well, because I'm like very busy doing whatever on the computer when that like I'll literally go to sleep at 3 a.m. So I texted the homie at like 1 a.m, right? We were texting or on the phone, and then it's 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'm texting this person good morning because I only slept from like 3 to like 4 or 5. I'm sorry, to like 6, 7 o'clock. Gotta get up, wake the kid up, go to school, all that stuff. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like there's sometimes where I just don't get this sufficient sleep, but
right. And there's days we have to make that sacrifice. It is part of life.
But I'm very conscious that there are moments where I need to get rest and I need to just lay down and be like, you know what?
Once your body starts tapping out, like you have to let it rest. You can't avoid it.
I used to have 2 jobs when I worked at the ambulance, and I used to do a bread route as well, where I was working 7 days a week.
Yes,
there was not a day
for
off.
Months.
It was just oh my God. There was what was it?
Well, I guess sometimes it worked out when we had Fridays off before the mandatory stuff. That came right after you left.
But I was still doing overtime on Fridays most of the time just to like
you were
get some good checks. But yeah, there was a few Fridays I was here and there. That was always nice to get a little Friday to drink a little beer or something or hang out. But you know, I definitely knew that there was times where I just needed to fall asleep and just relax and take a day off.
That he would, yeah.
But again, you know, at the end of the day, we should be conscious, pay attention to what you're doing. You know, see what can you do better. Another thing, what you should not even give your conscious state of mind to. What is those irrelevant things that you might be paying attention to so much? For example, we had an episode a while ago, it was last season, porn addiction. Any type of addiction, alcohol, dope, a whole lot of women in your life, all these things that really don't deserve your undivided attention. You know, what deserves your undivided attention? Your family, maybe some friends if you don't have family, if you don't have either, you know, maybe you growing your knowledge, maybe working harder at work, whatever that may be. If you know, I don't know, just whatever your life circumstance is, just analyze these things and pay attention to what you're doing right and keep doing it right and give that undivided attention to that. What are things that are hindering your life or affecting you in a negative way? You should be like, well, these are the things that I'm going to start to ignore from now on. These are the things that I'm not going to give my focus to anymore. Why? Because I want to better myself. Again, this podcast is not to bash anyone. We do have our points of views. It's like earlier, I was just going off on the military system and all that stuff. But it's just the system, and it's sad to see that a lot of people,
friends and family,
are still not awake on these things that are occurring, that are in front of them. They're not conscious, and they just want to believe whatever fairy tale story that is in their brain. And it's wrong, you know, but it's not something that I'm doing I'm trying to hurt anyone, because you will never see me put a negative comment on anything on any social platforms. This is on my personal level, or give attention to things that are irrelevant. But there's things that people need to understand, and that's why I'm like, okay, this is my point of view. What's your point of view? Write on the comment box down below. We always give the liberty for everyone to do that.
Yeah, of course.
On any social platform. So again, we want you guys to continue to elaborate in regards to this topic and every topic that we talk about on a weekly basis. But yeah, we just wanted to bring this episode. Do you have anything else?
No, yeah, it was short and sweet, and we kind of did this on purpose because we feel like certain topics are pretty straightforward, and then there's some topics where we feel like we really need to, you know, break it down layer by layer and try to get as much information and insight as possible. Today we felt like this was a short one, and hopefully it was informative for all of you guys, and just anything we missed, anything you guys think we should talk about, or you know, whatever it might be, please, you know, message us and comment down below and let us know what we can do to add on to this conversation. If anything in particular, I'm sure there might have been something, because again, we don't want to miss anything, but we know we're not perfect, and you know, based off of the research that we do, is kind of how we get the conversation going. So yeah, just please, again, keep us informed, stay interacted with us, you know, we're so grateful for the interactions we're getting on TikTok and Instagram. We need more interactions on Facebook and YouTube. But you know, it is really great. The feedback that we're getting from people and stuff like that. It's fuel to the fire here to get this train to continue to go forward. And we're really enjoying ourselves doing this week to week. And you know, obviously we don't have our channel where we want it to be yet, but the fact that we're making progress and we're not stopping.
Consistency is
correct. Key. Yeah. And, you know, we have no intentions of stopping. So, yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on this today.
All right. My last little saying, just to close it out, it says, being conscious of your actions will save you a lot of wasted time and unpleasant situations. Okay. Out of the park. Oh, shout out to Lake Mary, the Little League, the 12-year-olds. You guys took the world championship. Congratulations to you guys.
Indeed.
12-year-olds. 12-year-olds beat the Japanese and everybody in this world from Lake Mary. It's down the road from here. We just saw the sign the other day coming from Reinhardt. It's down the road from here, man, from the studio. So we're very happy for you guys representing over here Orlando very well. Obviously globally they played in Pennsylvania, which was pretty cool. So
I mean, legendary stuff has happened there.
Yeah, for sure.
We were born there. I'm just
Trump got shot there. I was telling that earlier. I was like, it's crazy how much history Pennsylvania actually has.
War and stuff, man.
All types of things. Like, people don't understand.
You go to Philly and the whole place over there is just
everything. But anyways, congratulations to you guys. Thank you guys again for everything, for the support. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the ringle dingle dingle.
Do that.
Follow us on all our social platforms. Tell everybody about us. Don't keep it quiet. Don't keep these gems to yourself. Don't be a pirate. Spread the treasure box, please, because that's what we're doing this platform for others to spread this wealth that we give. And hopefully you guys could give us something back as well, where it's like, hey, you guys did this topic, you should talk about this now, or like, hey, you should elaborate more on this, or hey, you guys messed up on this, like, because we might mess up, maybe some of our statistics are off. You never know.
That's true.
Bring it to our awareness. Again, we're not perfect. So,
correct.
You know, if you guys could help us out on that, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And it'll be until the next time. Have a great week, guys. Take care.
See ya.